नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Om. Dear friends, we are seeing the episode of Dronacharya starting his, what can we say, class or school, where lot many princes, not only Pandavas and Kauravas, but lot many other princely boys, students, they all came. Vrushnayascha andhakaschaiva nanadeshascha parthivaha, says Vyasa. That is from different countries, from different lands. Country means it does not mean Africa and America. Country in those days means a small area, small kingdoms, because India was full of small kingdoms. India was once having about 50 plus kingdoms. So from different parts of the country, lot many princely, all the people of royal families, they came. Because in those days, for these kings, it was compulsory for them to know the Veda. And after the Veda, it was compulsory naturally for a king. He is supposed to be physically fit, and all the martial arts he should be knowing, because he is the man who stands first in the battle, who leads the battle actually. So these people, lot many people, they came. And incidentally, Karna also came there. Karna also was a student of Dronacharya, and Karna was also competing with these people. And right from the beginning, Karna was very, very jealous of Arjuna, and he was gradually moving towards this Duryodhana. And that is where we were. And another boy he is actually a tribal boy. He was the son of a tribal chief. Tribal chief means we know that in those days also, in the forest, there used to be lot many hunting tribes. And one such hunting tribe was there. And a particular chief's son, his name was Ekalavya. A very, very dedicated student, a very, very sincere student, a very righteous student, a person who was very, very truthful to his word, a person of great integrity. So that boy, he also came. He also came and he wanted to be the student of Dronacharya. But unfortunately, Dronacharya cannot take him, because that is a school which is appointed for training the children of kings and also all the princely families. So naturally, he could not take that boy. He could not take that boy, and particularly, and also because the training involved both knowledge of Astra and Shastra. Astra means physically the weapons which are physically used, and Astras are those which are used by chanting certain mantras. By chanting certain mantras, if an Astra is used, okay, it produces fire, it produces rain, it produces various other things. So such things, they could not be taught. Naturally, even now we see that all these, the great big countries which have all the knowledge of weapons, they will not share the knowledge of their weapons with the rest of the world. They would like to sell the weapons, but they would not like to share the knowledge of the weapons. So similarly, in those days also, actually, this knowledge was preserved, because it could not be given to all the people like tribals and all those people. So because the kings were naturally jealous of guarding their own kingdoms. So this Ekalavya could not be taken. But this Ekalavya, he was a very sincere boy. He went back, but at the same time, he had a great regard for Dronacharya. He made a clay replica of Dronacharya. He kept it in front of him and then kept on practicing it. Kept on practicing, not on it, kept on practicing, treating that Dronacharya as Guru. He kept on practicing, and he became such a wonderful archer. And it so happened that all these boys, these Kauravas and Pandavas, they went out for hunting. And hunting, of course, it was the pastime. Till recent years, in fact, till about 50 years ago, hunting was legal. Only in the last few years, because we have been killing all the wild animals, and that wild animal is actually totally they are dying down. So there is a Wildlife Protection Act, and all those things have come in recent years. But about 100 years ago, everywhere hunting was legal. And all the big people, they used to carry guns, they used to carry bows and arrows in those days. And in recent years, they used to carry guns, and then they used to shoot animals. So all these people, they went. And along with them, naturally, there was a dog handler also. There was a dog which was going in front. And that dog which went in front, it saw this Ekalavya. That Ekalavya was actually practicing. When that boy was practicing, then this dog went near and barked. When the dog barked, he immediately shot 7 arrows. In one split second, he just shot 7 arrows right into the mouth of that dog. And that dog came back running to these Kauravas and Pandavas. And these people, they were so totally perplexed to see the skill of that boy. When they went ahead and they saw this boy who was practicing, and they asked him, who are you? He said, okay, I am so-and-so. Then who is your teacher? My teacher is Dronacharya. So there was the picture of Dronacharya was also there by his side. So these people, they felt slightly ashamed, and then they came back, because not even Arjuna was having that much of skill. Then these people, they came back. After they came back, they told the Guru, Dronacharya, what had happened. And Arjuna, in private, after all the people left, in private, he asked this Dronacharya, sir, you had promised to me that you would make me the greatest archer in the world, but there is another boy who is also claiming to be a student, and who is a very great archer. Then Drona thought for a minute, what can he do? Because he is actually a teacher who is employed by Bhishmacharya, and he has to follow the rules of that particular time, and he also has to follow the value system of that particular time. So he said, okay, let us go along. So they went together, and then they went to that boy. They went to that boy, and that boy, after from a distance itself, he saw Dronacharya, and when he saw Dronacharya, he just came running. He came running, and then he touched the feet of that Dronacharya, and so he just stood. And Dronacharya said, Tato Drono Abravit Rajan Ekalavya vachaha. So Dronacharya looked at Ekalavya and then said, Yadi Shishyosi me Veera Vetanam Diyatam Mama. He said, you seem to be claiming that you are my student. If you are my student, give me that Dakshina, Guru Dakshina. Then that boy also said, he felt very, very happy. He didn't say, no, I only kept your picture here and you never taught me or anything. He didn't say like that. So he was so totally pleased. He said, okay, there is nothing which I cannot give to you. Nahi kinchid adeyam me gurave brahmavittama. Oh, my dear sir, there is nothing which I cannot give to you. Then this Dronacharya said, Tam abravit tvaya angushtah dakshino diyatamiti. Give me your right thumb. So right thumb is the most important thing while for archery. When you are pulling the bow, and then we are fixing the hooking that arrow onto that jar, that bowstring, and then when you are drawing, then this thumb plays the most important part. It has a great role. And if that thumb is gone, then with these two fingers, how can he cock it, how can he place it on that string and then do it? So, but that man, he was so righteous. That Ekalavya was so true to his word, he was so righteous. He immediately took out a knife and then he just chopped it off and then gave to the teacher without batting an eyelid, without repenting, and he just gave it. And Drona himself was so totally perplexed. Sa satyasandham naishadim dushtva prito bravididam. So says this Vyasa. So he said, oh, he could not, he had no words. So, but then he said, because he has already lost one thumb, so he said, okay, you can still practice like that. He told some method, and then they went away. And after they went away, then even after that, naturally, Ekalavya cannot be as swift as he used to be earlier. Naturally, that was some sort of impairment. So that was the picture. So naturally, Arjuna was happy. Arjuna was happy that there is nobody who is equal to him. But in this whole chapter, we see that the image of both Drona and Arjuna has taken a beating. The image is sullied or darkened. That is, you see, Drona's position also is helpless. You just examine it as an ethical issue. An ethical issue not only of those times, but for the present times. Of course, in those times, probably, it was the order of the day. It was the order of the day in the sense that was the value system of that time. So that is the reason why Vyasa has very truthfully recorded as to what has happened. The very fact that Vyasa has truthfully recorded, it shows that even Vyasa He just endorsed it. He also endorsed it because that was the value system of that time. But when we see Dronacharya, there was a possibility. Dronacharya could have said, no, I didn't teach him. Or even that boy Ekalavya could have said, no, I didn't learn under you. Or Arjuna himself could have made friends with him. Arjuna himself could have stopped when he was asking for the thumb. Arjuna himself could have said, no, stop it. Let him be my friend. Something like that. It didn't happen. So all this particular episode, we see that Dronacharya was also helpless. Because he had his own personal ambition. His own personal ambition was that he had to teach a lesson to Drupada. If you recall, he had an old enmity with Drupada. Not enmity, he was very angry with that Drupada, King Drupada and Dronacharya. I was telling you yesterday that they were great friends. And because of sheer absolute poverty, Dronacharya went to him and then he requested some help. And that king just ticked him off and said, no, you can't be my equal, you can't be my friend, you just get lost. So he felt very highly insulted. So he wanted to teach him a lesson. So that is the reason why he trained all these people to be great warriors, great fighters. And then his ambition was that through Arjuna, he would defeat that Drupada and then he would teach a lesson to that Drupada. So Drona's that desire also is there at the back of his mind. Not only that, he was an employee of Bhishma. So Dronacharya was also partly helpless, and maybe with the present day, with the present day value system, if we evaluate, we see that the character of Arjuna and also Drona in this particular situation, it was not very, very noble. That it looks like that. Of course, people may differ, but it looks like that if we make a very, very impartial analysis. So after this incident of this Ekalavya, Arjuna was happy, he has no grouse. And other people also, Bhima became an expert in mace means gada. Similarly, Duryodhana became an expert in that mace. And Yudhishthira, that is Dharmaraja, he became an expert in chariot, fighting on a chariot. Because fighting on a chariot, fighting on an elephant, fighting on horseback, there were so many varieties. And sword fight, Nakula became an expert in sword fight. And again, some other, Sahadeva, he became an expert in archery. So like that, all the people, they had their own, every man became an expert in some field or the other. So it went on like that. And Arjuna also, he was the chosen disciple of Dronacharya. And Dronacharya, he gave him a particular weapon called Brahmashira Astra. So that is what was the thing. And thereafter, at the end of their training, so after some time, their training was over. And what do you do normally? At the end of the training, there is usually a demonstration. Suppose at the end of the year, we call all the parents, and then in front of the parents, there are certain competitions, etc. So there is a school function or a college function. So something like that. Drona planned to have a grand demonstration. And a very huge amphitheater was built. You know, that a great stadium-like thing, a stadium or amphitheater, whatever it is. And it was constructed, and in that amphitheater, several galleries for different types of people, galleries for royal people, royal families, because King Dhritarashtra was there, and many other kings were there, and all the royal ladies were there. So for all the royal ladies, there was a gallery. And similarly for ministers and for all the common people, there were some other galleries. So like that, all this amphitheater was built, and with great fanfare, all the people, they came. They were all, all the royal women. For example, Dhritarashtra's wife, Gandhari, she was sitting. And Kunti, mother of Pandavas, she was also sitting. Vidura, the minister, he was also sitting. All these elders, Bhishma, Drona, and all the people were there. And at that time, all the people, all the Kauravas and Pandavas and various other princes who were all trained, all the people, they came, and then they came in a very disciplined way. And they were all specially dressed. Tatu baddha angulitrana baddha kaksha maharatha. They were wearing angulitrana means the finger guards, because all these archers usually wear finger guards, because otherwise the fingers, they get hurt. Similarly, archers also wear arm guard, because that string, when it is pulled back, when it is released, the string sometimes hits the arm. So they were wearing arm guards, they were wearing finger guards, they were also wearing sometimes The people who had to practice archery, they were also wearing body armors and very, very properly dressed, tucked up and then properly tucked up, and also wearing what is called a quiver. Quiver is that, where you keep all the arrows, a long pipe-like thing, where you keep all the arrows, that is called a quiver. So they also tied those quivers, and then they held bows, and then they came in that full gear, like you see in the commando movies. So they came up in full gear, and they all stood there, and on the command of Dronacharya, they performed various feats. They performed very different feats. So that is archery, somebody, and then somebody else in some other field. So like that, various things they performed, and then finally, it was like something like a sort of climax. Climax, of course, it is going to be Arjuna's show. But before that, Bhima and Duryodhana, because they were also very great fighters. Bhima and Duryodhana, right from the beginning, they are envious of each other. Bhima, of course, is simple. Bhima, we see that throughout Mahabharata, Bhima is a simple character. Whereas Duryodhana is ambitious, and he is also crooked. And is also more intelligent. Because he is crooked, he is more intelligent. So he knows immediately how to make friends. So we are going to see that. So Duryodhana is, and also trains himself very well. Whereas Bhima is rather callous. Whereas Duryodhana is somebody who trains himself very, very meticulously, because he knows that he has to fight Bhima at some point of time. So when these two people entered that amphitheater, all the people, there was that cheers. There were a lot of cheers for both people. Somebody said Bhima, somebody cheered up Bhima, and somebody else cheered up this Duryodhana. So it went on like that. So that mace fight, that spectators almost, they became two groups, it seems. Pakshapata Kruta Sneha Sadvideva Abhavajjana. So the people, some people liked Bhima, some people liked Duryodhana. It was almost like as though the people got divided. And it is also, we are going to see that this particular demonstration, it is the starting point for the battle, actually, the future battle. In fact, the battle lines are being drawn now. The battle lines are almost getting crystallized in this particular chapter. So Bhima and Duryodhana, they came, and then they started this mace fight, Gada Yuddha as we call it. When they started this mace fight, it did not go on like a sport. It was not like a sport, but it almost looked like as though they were just trying to fight to the finish. They wanted to almost kill each other. So at that time, Duryodhana, this Dronacharya, he saw it, he noticed it, and then immediately sent his son. Dronacharya's son, who is he? That is Ashwathama. Ashwathama is somewhat like a referee. He immediately went there, he immediately asked his son, you go and stop them. So he went, and yes, this is the order of Dronacharya, stop. So he just stood in the middle and then physically drew them apart, and then made them stop the fight. So that is how that particular fight ended. And thereafter, now Drona, that is the final thing, that is the climax, that is the climax scene, that is the most spectacular thing will be reserved for the climax. So Drona announced with a great fanfare, he said, I am now bringing forth Arjuna, who is dearer to me than my own son. He says, Yo me putrat priyataraha. Putrat priyataraha means he is dearer to me than my own son. Sarva Shastra Visharadaha. He knows all the Sarva Shastra Visharadaha. He knows all the Shastras and Astras, all types of weapons he knows, and also the divine weapons which can be released after chanting a mantra. So all those things he knows. Now you please see his performance. So Arjuna prepared. Arjuna was also in full gear. He also had got the finger guards and then arm guards, and then very neatly tucked up. And he came, and then he showed he displayed many skills. That is hitting the moving targets, and Dronacharya had prepared many moving targets. All those moving, in fact, the moving targets, for example, the horn of some animal. If you take out the horn of the animal, there is a hollow, and that horn of the animal is swinging. That horn was made to swing, and Arjuna had to shoot into the hole of that horn. So there is a horn which is swinging, the hole facing this side, and you have to shoot into that horn. So like that, lot many tricks and also rings coming and then that just coming together. And when the rings are coming together, he has to shoot through the ring. So something like that, all these things are described by Vyasa in this particular chapter. So he displayed all those things, and the people were so totally excited and they were all cheering. When the people, there was so much of tumult among the crowd, Dhritarashtra was asking, "Oh, Duryodhana, what is happening? What is happening?" So Vidura was explaining to him, "Yes, this is all the show by Arjuna." And Dhritarashtra, he has to conceal his jealousy. Dhritarashtra is very jealous. And Duryodhana also is seething in jealousy. Duryodhana is seething in anger and also in jealousy. Whereas Dhritarashtra, being the king, he can't show that. So Dhritarashtra uses all the right words. He says, "Oh, dhanyosmi, anugrihitosmi, rakshitosmi." Oh, I am so fortunate, I am so fortunate. I am having such a son like Arjuna. I am having such a son in the sense, he doesn't say son like Arjuna. Prutharini samudbhutaihi, son of Kunti. He is our protector, son of our Kunti, he is our protector. I am so fortunate. So of course, Dhritarashtra, we always see, he conceals his jealousy, he conceals his anger. So he uses all the right words, appropriate words. So he says like that. And now after some time, Arjuna displayed various, the divine weapons also. He created fire, he created water, and then he created that wind god, that Vayu Astra. So many astras he used. And also he used certain techniques where he was just disappearing again, appearing again. So like that, he showed all these things. And when the show was almost coming to an end, a great thing happened. A very sudden anticlimax, we can say, has happened. What? Suddenly a very great sound, a challenging sound, a sort of challenging roar was heard from a distance. That amphitheater has got so many gates. From one such gate, a great roar, a challenging roar appeared. And when people looked at that side, then there enters Karna. Karna was again a very tall, well-built man, like Arjuna. Arjuna is the son of Indra, if we just recall. And Karna was also the son of a god, son of Surya, that is the sun god. And he was also endowed with natural body armor, which was shining. It was a shining gold armor. And he was also endowed with natural ear rings. So that gold rings, and he was just shining. And he was such a tall, well-built and very strong and sturdy man. And there is a big description about this Karna here in this particular chapter. And when he appeared, there was all the people were perplexed. There was just silence for a minute. And then all the people, they just looked at him. Then he came in and immediately he challenged. So Bravin Megha Gambhiraswarena Vadatam Varha Megha Gambhiraswarena. He just thundered. Megha Gambhir. Megha means a cloud. Megha Swana means that is a thunder. He almost spoke like a thunder. That means thunderous voice. In such a thunderous voice he said, "Yes, O Arjuna, Partha, yatte krutam karma, Visheshavadaham tataha." O Partha, Partha means Arjuna. O Arjuna, you have displayed certain skills. I am going to display all those things and also many more. So he said, and he just came in. When Karna came in, he in a very nonchalant way, in a very careless manner, he bowed to Dronacharya and also this Krupacharya. When these two teachers are there, Dronacharya and Krupacharya, in a rather nonchalant, in a rather careless manner, he just bowed to them, and then he entered and then challenged Arjuna. And thereafter, he, with the permission of Drona, he displayed all those things. Pritischa manujavyaghra Duryodhanam upavishat. And when that was seen, immediately Duryodhana, instantly, he jumped at him. Duryodhana, of course, knew him earlier also, because in the earlier chapter we saw that right from the beginning, Karna was very jealous of Arjuna. And when he was jealous of Arjuna, naturally he was getting closer to Duryodhana. But Duryodhana probably never knew that Karna had so much of strength, skill and potential. So he said, Duryodhana immediately came, and he was so elated. Duryodhana was so elated, and Arjuna was feeling rather shy, and he was also feeling angry. So then when Karna displayed all those skills which Arjuna displayed, Then immediately Duryodhana rushed to him, all the brothers also rushed, and then he immediately took him, and Swagatam te Mahabahu, Karnam Parishvajya, he immediately embraced him. You see Duryodhana's intelligence. Duryodhana is a man who is immediately recognizing who can be his friend and how to win friends. In fact, Arjuna could have himself done that, but somehow Arjuna was not bothered. Whereas Duryodhana, he was always scared of Arjuna because there was nobody on his side who is equal to Arjuna. Right from the beginning, Duryodhana probably he had that idea in mind that these people are our rivals. These people are our rivals, and then we have to somehow finish them. So we have seen earlier how they wanted to finish Bhima several times. And for Arjuna, for facing Arjuna, now he has found a right man. So he immediately went down, hugged him, all the brothers, they embraced him, and he said, Swagatam te Mahabahu, Dishtya Praptosi Manada. Oh Manada, Vyasa uses a good word called Manada. Manada means, you are giving us hope, you are our savior. You are protecting our honor. Mana is honor. Manada means you are protecting our honor, because it is a question of Duryodhana's honor to defeat Arjuna. So you are a person who is protecting my honor, and command me. Kaham chama kuru rajyam cha yadheshtam upabhujyatam. Just command me and also command this entire kingdom. I am at your service. So what more can a king say? A king is almost a future king, let us say. So he is saying, you just command me, you have the entire kingdom with you. Then they became very good friends. And immediately after that, Karna, he said, I want to have a bout, not bout, I want to have a sort of one-to-one fight. Yeah, bout, you can call it a bout. A one-to-one fight with Arjuna. He is challenging Arjuna. Arjuna also, he said, yes, you are some unknown person. You have just come uninvited, and certainly I will finish you off. There's all these uninvited people, how they have to be ticked off, I know. I will finish you off. Then that man also said, okay, this field is open for all warriors. Rangoyam sarva samanya. This is something which is common to all. Anybody can come and challenge you. Any hero can come and challenge you. So then the people were also excited, and it looked as though there could be a fight between this Karna. There is a combat between Karna and Arjuna. At that time, what happened? There is we have to see Kunti at that time. Kunti, we know that she is the mother of Karna also. And Kunti, immediately on seeing Karna, she instantly recognized him. She instantly recognized because of his Kavacha Kundala, that is gold armor and then earrings and all that. And seeing him challenging Arjuna, she just fell unconscious. So now we will see it tomorrow. She fell unconscious. She now gets up, and later, of course, some people they go sprinkle some water, and she gets up, and then we will see tomorrow as to what happens. Harihi Om Tat Sat.